work things, what you need to do after this. Maybe you're hungry, I don't know. I guess most people have come straight from work. So thank you for coming here, making an effort to come this evening. And also please try for the next half an hour to just switch off from all the other things that are going on in your life and think about your career and why you might pursue the CFA, how it might help you. So I want to talk, I hope by the end of this presentation you're going to have a better understanding of what the Charter is and what an important role it could play in your future, in your career. So let's try and focus on that. I'm the founder of SH Professional Training, and you all have a flyer about the company on your table. It's a new company here in Brazil, but I'm bringing materials from BPP, which is the largest provider of professional education in Europe, to Brazil. So you're in safe hands. Okay? They have a lot of experience preparing candidates for the CFA exams. They've been training people since 1997, and they've trained 15,000 candidates. And they also have a very high track record of pass rates, significantly above the global average pass rates for the exam. And a bit of background about me. You might be wondering or thinking that I'm not Brazilian. I don't look very Brazilian. I am actually British, and I worked in London for about 7 years in Ernst & Young, EY now, and the Bank of England. And then I came to Brazil 2.5 years ago, and I worked in Ernst & Young in the valuation team as a manager, and then I set up this company. I have a degree in economics, which I got from Oxford University, and I am a chartered accountant and a CFA Charter holder, and I've also done a couple of valuation exams. So I'm not new to exams. I've done a lot. So I think that will help me help you with the exams if you decide to go forward with doing the CFA Charter. I also want to say that we're joined here this evening by some of the teachers on the course. So can I just get Louise and Leandro to stand up, wave at everyone? Okay. So Louise and Leandro are both CFA Charter holders. They have experience teaching, and they can also help with any questions that come up. Thanks. We also have Rebecca here this evening. Rebecca is our English teaching partner. So for anyone who feels that they need a bit of a boost for their English, in order to do the exam, Rebecca is the lady to help. Okay. And we of course do have the materials which you all have on your desks, and you can have a look at those. In the brochure there is also a list of all of the different materials that are provided by BPP, and I'll be going over them later in this open evening. So this is what we're going to cover. Why might you think about doing the CFA Charter? Has anyone already signed up for the exam? No one yet? Okay. Has anyone decided that they're going to? A couple of people, maybe? Okay, so most people are unsure. So you're here to decide or get some information in order to help you decide. All right, good. I'm going to talk a little bit about the CFA Institute and the CFA Society of Brazil. The CFA Institute is the awarding body, so that gives the CFA the charter, and it also sets the exams. And the CFA Society of Brazil is the local CFA society that represents the members here in Brazil. Has anyone already heard of the CFA Institute and the CFA Society? Do you know a bit about them? Not yet, okay. So we've got a bit of information about that. I'm also going to talk about the CFA programme. So what is the technical content in the programme? What does it cover? And then I will talk about some tips and ideas for how you might get started if you decide it's the right thing for you. Okay, does that sound okay? So, who here would like a better salary? Or maybe start working in finance if you don't already work in finance, or perhaps change your role in finance. Okay, so these are the kind of things that the CFA Charter can help people with. Also, you get a well-recognised, internationally well-recognised grounding in finance, which is broad as well as deep. because it's recognised internationally, it can enable you to work more easily in a multinational company or to compete with other multinational companies or banks. This was a CFA Institute compensation survey, which is a little bit outdated, but it's still relevant, showing that the CFA Charter's median salary is over 50% more than non-CFA Charter holders. Now, this is not a guarantee, but it's showing evidence that people with a CFA Charter tend to earn a lot more than people without a CFA Charter. But we know, I guess, if people already know a little bit about the exams, they are hard to pass. People are aware of that generally? There are 3 exams and pass rates are around 40% for each level. So pretty low. Please interrupt me if you have any questions, okay? And no other investment designation has the same global prestige that the CFA Charter has. And it has that partly because it's so tough. So the exam is not for everyone, it's for people who want to excel in their career in finance. So it's kind of for the people who really want to be at the top of their game, achieve as much as they can in their career in finance. And so here in Brazil, the CFA Charter is becoming even more well known, and more people are getting the Charter and studying for the exams. And this chart here shows the growth in the number of CFA Charter holders in Brazil. And you can see that the rate of growth here, on average over the last 10 years, was 17%, which makes it the 3rd fastest growing society in the world. So it's quite a big deal. This qualification is really growing here in Brazil. And I took a screenshot of the CFA Society job board, and you can see the latest jobs that are advertised here. And then I went into each one, and I found that they were all asking or saying that it's an advantage to be a CFA candidate or a CFA Charter holder. So this means that jobs here in Brazil, that people are really looking for CFA candidates or charter holders. So there are lots of opportunities for people with this qualification, and it's something that could really play a big part in your career, make a big difference to what you end up achieving. Okay, so if you're thinking, is this the right thing for me? You might want to think about what you currently work with or what you would like to work with. And the content of the CFA programme is set out here by level. So there are 3 levels with 3 exams, one for each level. And I will talk a little bit about the technical content, just so you get an idea. So if you work in any of these areas, then you're going to find the CFA Charter useful for you. And if you don't work in any of these areas, you're going to find it useful because you're going to understand what other people do. So the CFA Charter the programme is designed to train professionals so they have a solid basis in everything they need to know about finance. Level 1 focuses on investment tools. Here we have quantitative methods, which covers probability, statistics, discounted cash flow calculations, and hypothesis testing. Economics is micro and macroeconomics and international economics, including determination of exchange rates. Financial reporting analysis covers the basic financial statements and also looks at analysis of financial statements. So there's quite a lot on using ratios to analyse financial statements. Corporate finance looks at the tools that we use to make investment decisions. Okay, and then in level 2, we focus more on the asset classes and how to value these assets. So looking at equity, fixed income derivatives, and alternative investments. I think equity and fixed income or bonds is pretty self-explanatory. Derivatives covers swaps, futures, forwards, and options. And alternative investments looks at private equity, hedge funds, commodities, and real estate. And then in level 3, everything is brought together in portfolio management. So portfolio management, you need to understand how to use the investment tools, you need to understand how to value different asset classes, And then you need to understand how risk and return work in a portfolio. And you need to be able to see how to make decisions regarding the optimal portfolios for different types of institutions. So it could be for banks, insurance companies, or pension funds, for example. And then throughout, you'll see that we have ethics. So we'll see in a minute about when we look at the CFA Institute, what is the CFA Institute, what is the objective of the CFA Institute. The ethics is very important. Any ideas why? What crisis did we recently have? Okay, so the integrity of the finance profession really depends a lot on ethics, and we are trusted as advisors to people, and we need to act in a way that is ethically correct. So that's why the CFA Institute emphasises ethics right across the programme. So as a result of the content of the programme and the fact that it's not too easy to pass the exams, the CFA Charter has become the most highly respected and widely recognised professional qualification in finance in the world. There isn't anything that beats the CFA Charter. It really is the best thing that you can get. And The Economist calls it here the gold standard, and the qualification has become, in effect, global currency. And I think this chart's quite interesting because you might notice that as the percentage of people passing the exam falls, the number of enrolments goes up. So it's because it's a way that employers like it, because it distinguishes people who are very high performing from people who are more average, because it is not easy to get through the programme. So if you've proven that you can get through the programme and that you have that high level of knowledge, then employers know, that you know what you're talking about. So I think that's why so many people want to get the charter. Any questions so far? So the CFA Institute's mission is to lead the investment profession by promoting the highest standards of ethics, education and professional excellence. And they have ethics first, and as I said, I already talked a bit about the importance of ethics. And then education, which is led by the CFA programme, but they have other programmes as well. The CFA is the main one. And then the CFA Society in Brazil represents the CFA charter holders here in Brazil. So currently there are around 600, I think 620-ish. Yeah, so around 600 CFA charter holders. And the society operates in these areas. So the advocacy and institutional relations is where the society builds relationships with the CBM and with other regulatory bodies. We actually have a board member here tonight who's one of our teachers, so he knows this much better than I do. But the other roles are programming and education. So you can see all these events here that are run by the society, and those are for members, member events that happen regularly throughout the year. And then when you get your charter, you will go to the charter ceremony, which is a nice event to recognise the achievement that you get when you get the charter. Also, there is work in employer relations, scholarships and partnerships. So this is where the CFA Society will represent the CFA charter holders by talking to employers about the importance of the qualification and how they might want their people to go through to get the qualification. Public awareness and sponsorships, I think kind of speaks for itself, sponsorships of the society. And then, has anyone heard of the Institute Research Challenge? Did anyone go to FGV or INSPA or SPEAK? No? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know. Okay, oh, so you might maybe have come across the Institute Research Challenge, I'm not sure. I think the Institute Research Challenge is an annual competition held at university level. And so it's quite a way that people sometimes hear about the CFA through their university, because they enter into this competition. And more universities in Brazil are joining the programme. So it might be that there are other universities in Sao Paulo, I'm not sure, that are already in the program, but here it is.
I don't know exactly how many, but FGB is one for sure.
Yeah.
And they won for 2 years.
They won, yeah.
And they won Americas once.
Did they? Yeah. So the competition is here in at Brazil level, and then it goes internationally. So it's quite a big
Yeah,
thing.
the winner in Brazil goes to
The Americas.
and participates in the Americas region.
And then there are the 3 committees here that deal with technical topics and provide opinions on behalf of the CFA Charter holders on the topic. Okay. But you may be more interested in the lunches and the conferences. Okay. This is an excellent opportunity to network and sort of speaks for itself. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So the CFA program, this is what you would need to do in order to obtain a charter. So again, there are lots of requirements, but it's something that's very well respected when you achieve it. And it's a postgraduate program, so you need to have a bachelor's degree or equivalent. Then you enroll in the exams, and as I said before, there are 3 levels. You need 4 years of work experience, which you can do before, during, or after the exams. And then there are a few more requirements that you make when you're applying, and then you get the CFA Charter. So just to tell you a little bit about the requirements for each exam, the level 1, well, all of the exams are 6-hour exams, but that doesn't mean you will be sitting there for 6 hours. They're split up into 2 parts, so you do 3 hours, and then you have a break, and then you do another 3-hour exam. And they always happen on the same day throughout the world. So they're always on the level 1 exam is in December and June, and the levels 2 and 3 exams are only in June. And you, the level 1 exam is always the first Saturday in June, and then in June or December, and the exams in June are the first Saturday in June. So it's first Saturday in December, first Saturday in June. And then students, the average successful student usually spends about 300 hours studying for the exam. And that's generally, so it's quite a big time commitment, but it's possible. If you did 10 hours every week, for a few months before the exam, people usually spend around 5 months studying, maybe 4 or 5 months. And it's advised to get through all of the content of the curriculum 1 month before the exam, and then spend the final month doing practice questions and practice exams, so you can get ready for the exam itself. Because a lot of it is about exam technique. You need to know the stuff, but you need to know how to apply it in the exam and how to work quickly through the questions, because the exam is time pressured. So you need good, and you will develop good time management and self-discipline in order to get through the exams. All exams are in English. And then how long would it take to get the charter? And that depends really. If you already have the work experience you need, then you could do level 1 this December, level 2 in June, and then level 3 in June afterwards. So it could take you 18 months or maybe nearly 2 years if you're including study time for the first exam. And here are the pass rates. So by level, going down over the years, and they are around 35–40%. And you'll notice that level 3 is the pass rates are slightly higher, and that is really because level 3 candidates, by the time they get there, they know they're comfortable with the exams and they know how to get through them. Okay? So they're not easy exams, but again, that's why they're so highly regarded. So you really need to focus to get through them. So here we have. I was just saying on that. I mean, that's why people go to prep courses and use prep materials, because the preparation increases the chances of you passing in the exam. I myself went on the BPP classroom courses in London for levels 1 and 2, and I had used the online course for level 3, and I passed each exam first time. So part of that was due to the help I got from BPP. And that's why I like their materials so much. I'm going to ask again, any questions? Are you all saving them up for later, or you don't have any?
Is there any restriction if you fail one of the exams if you are forbidden to take these exams?
No, you can keep retaking. If there's any restriction.
No.
No. And you can even retake. Someone asked me recently if he had done level 1 10 years ago, and he said, could he then take level 2? And you can. There's no time limit either. So how might you get started? My first tip would be to go onto our website and do the diagnostics test that's there. There's a free diagnostic test of 30 minutes, and it's split into English and maths. So the first 15 minutes is an English comprehension exercise with 5 multiple choice questions and an extract to read. And then there are 10 questions on basic maths. And it's really a test also of how well you can use your calculator. So it's like using the net present value function on the calculator, how to calculate an internal rate of return, which is also then covered in the CFA programme. And there's also a question on how to do a fourth root of a number. So things like that, that will just give you an idea of whether you're ready to enrol in the CFA Charter, CFA exams. Then you might want to think about the types of preparation materials that you want. If you want to come on a prep course, if you want to buy some material to help you to study, to focus, and increase your chances of passing in the exam. When you enroll in the CFA exam itself, you need to go to the CFA Institute website, and then you pay the exam fee, and you receive an ebook of the official CFA programme curriculum immediately. I think they send the password straight away by email. And it's 6 volumes, so there's quite a lot of material that they give you. But you need that in order to study for the exam. And that's why I mentioned to some people who were here early, who has the study guide, BPP study guide? So this is a very useful book. When you get the official CFA programme curriculum, this book is a guide to what you should focus on in the official curriculum. So it cuts out a lot of potentially unnecessary time, tells you what the most important concepts are and how long to spend on each section, and it helps you focus your studies, and it's very useful. And then you need fundamental importance is to have a good study plan. So I mentioned the 300 hours that you need to study for each level. So you would need to think about how you're going to fit that into your schedule. Are you going to do it at the weekend or at night, or ask your boss for a day off a week? That would be nice, wouldn't it? And also, I would advise people to take the last week off work before the exam to do practice exams. SHP Training is the exclusive distributor of BPP materials in Brazil, and you can see here we have a list of the materials which are available. You can buy them as a pack, and the pack price is cheaper than buying all of the individual items separately. And then it includes this study guide, which has the tips for what you should focus on. And then also essential formulas. All of these books are here. So essential formulas is a list of all the formulae that you need to learn for the exam. And then there's a part that you can fill in to check that you've remembered the formulae correctly. And there are study session maps which show you a visual representation of each topic area in the curriculum. The question bank, so you'll have lots of practice questions to do. Pass cards, again, are these, which for people who learn in a visual way are very useful. And then